signing a picture of yourself. I'm trying to imagine what kind of experience that must be, John Voight, to see yourself always through other people's eyes like that.
Well, I just hope I wrote something that's nice that you can live
Thank you very much.
That piece.
Does it happen very often that people shove drawings in front of you?
No.
Really?
But it's a nice sketch, very nice sketch. You have a nice talent.
Any artistic inclinations like that on your part?
I actually started as an artist when I was
Really?
very young. Before I was even in kindergarten, I was like the painter of the family, and I had drawings all over the floor, so I can somewhat appreciate what you do.
Thank you very much. Do you still keep it up in your own time?
I don't really too much. I do little sketches and little poems for people that mostly have a little humorous aspect to them, but to salute my pals occasionally, you know, and just make a little. Those drawings were a delight to my mom, who used to ask me to do Christmas cards every year.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd say, "When are you going to get my Christmas card? I have to get it." I'd say, "Okay, Mom, I'll do that." And I'd have to, you know, think of something to put on the Christmas card.
Well, people like Gene Hackman tell me that they sketch on the set a lot of times.
Gene Hackman is a serious
to kill time.
portrait painter. Well, he's really quite good.
Probably too hot in Florida to do much of anything except sweat, I suppose.
Well, or make movies.
There you go.
Yeah.
Speaking of. Wow, in Rosewood, you and Vink Rhames, what a confrontation or compliment the two of you have.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. He's a kind of mythic power, and you're a more human person caught in some dilemmas, if you would describe them for us.
Yeah, yes, well, many dilemmas. First of the dilemmas from his human weaknesses, security and power and whatever the thing, in his little world, he's a little bit of a prince, you know, at least he feels he has some special privileges, and he's programmed in the way that Jim Crow programs you, you know, in the Jim Crow laws, which are that, you know, that if you have a certain color skin, that you don't have quite the citizenship of another color skin, which is, of course, a complete insanity, but that's the way he was programmed. So he thought he was something hot, and then he realizes that he's at risk, too, and that his humanness is at risk, too.
Yeah, and we have to believe that you have an enlightened attitude towards blacks because you're a businessman, but also there's something deeper that comes forth, too.
Well, he's a human being, finally. He becomes a human being in front of our eyes. He finally behaves the way we would want him to behave. So we're at risk with him because we think he might not come through continuously through the film. And then what he does, we question whether we would do.
Yeah.
Am I as brave as this guy? Finally, we look at a guy, we were saying, well, at least I don't have those problems. And then in the end, we say, boy, he stepped up pretty good.
Now, we can admire a Vink Rhames, but I think with John Wright, we can identify.
Yes, something like that. That's probably true.
I'm no actor, but this strikes me as a role to die for. I mean, that kind of complexity.
Well, it's...
Or sweat for in this case.
Yes, indeed. Well, it was a pretty interesting journey, I must say, and I was very glad to be with this group of actors. A lot of wonderful performances here.
Take us down there. How awful was the location shooting? Or was it okay?
I'm going to tell you something.
Am I exaggerating?
It was not so bad, kid. It was we were living in convenience, really, and the people in that area, which is around Lake Mary, Florida, were quite charming people. And the location we had, the guys that really had it tough were the guys who had to clean it out because they built this town out of a forest area, and it was kind of, there were heavy kind of foliage there, and you know, cactus roots and all sorts of you know, stuff that was very hard to clear, and there were snakes in there, and you know, stuff like that. They had the hardest work. Yeah. When we came down, it wasn't so bad, and we didn't even have the mosquitoes that one might have had at that time of year, because they were cold spells. So we were very, very fortunate in many ways. Even though the cold spells were so cold, the nights were so cold some nights, it was really, I mean, there was a lot of danger to the health of the people just because of the freezing cold nights that we had to sustain to do some of those shootings. But we were, all in all, we had a very good time, and we were very fortunate to have this scenery that you very seldom see. Florida terrain and that kind of scenery is very different than any other part of the country. And when you're surrounded by it, you're in it, you get the value of that, you know, that greenery and specific foliage of that part of the world, and it's an unusual and very beautiful environment.
You've certainly had adventures in making films. They've taken you so many places.
Indeed.
Now down at DePaul Meadowland down there,
Yeah.
Conrack, yeah.
Yeah.
We've all grown up together on and off screen. It
Right,
seems
right,
like people
yeah.
of our generation.
That's true, yeah.
Maybe in just a few seconds, are you still the guy you were back in Coming Home, or have you mellowed out, or how can we encapsulize where John
probably
Voight
I've
is?
learned a lot. Probably have just learned a lot of lessons along the way, and I'm at this point very grateful for many things. One of them is that I feel more than ever the responsibility to do pieces and have the energy and enthusiasm to do pieces. I have a kind of a youthful aspect about films. I feel films can do so much, just like I was when I was a kid. I said, this is the most amazing technology, the most amazing medium. There's so many stories to tell, there's so much to do, and I'm feeling the same things now. I say, we're always at the beginning, of course, but I mean, I could see so much to be done. And that makes me feel very good. And I have now 2 children. One is 23 and one is 21, and they're both going to be in this business, and there will be the continuance. So I feel good about that. I said, these guys, and through them, I'm in touch with lots of younger people, and I'm feeling very good about these young ones having respect for the masters that I experienced when I was young. Thank God for video. We have the ability, Wizard of Oz, or the Fred Astaire movies, or Casablanca, or whatever, the great artists of the...
Yeah. And may Hal Ashby rest in peace.
And Hal Ashby, what a great artist.
Our time has flown, alas.
Hey.
Thanks for the movie, thanks for the enthusiasm.